What have we not covered?
There's loads of things.
Important things that we've not covered.
So one, let's just take chat.
Yep.
That's the next. So you in the Fedi app, because this is it's a home for your money, chat, and data. So we have chat within the app. So instead of your chat being hosted by a third party somewhere in the world, in one location, like a Signal or a Telegram or a WhatsApp, where you don't know for sure what's happening. And even if they're doing everything perfectly correct, there's always a suspicion. You've seen the news around Binance and CZ and the Signal information that was shared, for example. Each chat is able to run within the federation. So each community has its own private chat server for the community. And when you're talking to people within your community, direct to direct, it's an encrypted conversation. So you know that it's encrypted between the two of you, and you also know it's being served by the community for the community. Now, within the chat though, you are able to, because it's within this community, you're able to make payments while you talk. You can send conversations. You can also send eCash. You can fling eCash from one person to another. So if you see in this example, we're having a conversation with someone and then they send you a request to pay them and you just click pay. So instead of me scanning a QR code, I just click pay and it's just sent eCash directly. And then the other way around, no, I've sent you a bit too much. I click the wallet icon on the left, and instead of me sending QR codes, I just send them out I want, and I can cancel it before they click pay. But if they click pay, it will say pending. It transfers the eCash directly between the two of us. So when I'm now sending money, I've got family back in the diaspora who are part of my community, and me, instead of me figuring out multiple things, we just all join the same federation. And if I want to send my money home, for example, I would just say, okay, here's your money for the day, pay, and it's just sent.
Or say I'm at a conference and I've got an event on, you're like, do you want to come? If you got a ticket, yeah, it's like 1 million sats. Boom, here's 1 million sats, here's your ticket.
Yeah, or you join, or you pay for the conference and you go and you join and you download this QR code. So again, you just download the app and scan a QR code at the entrance, and that's the signing process. No email, no anything. You can now have different subgroups in chat for different discussions can happen. You can have, on the homepage, there's a series of apps being displayed, and each one of those apps is dependent on each one of those apps is configurable by community. So this is an example set. We've got things like Bitrefill and Giza and Stackwork and Stack and Use and BTC Maps. But for you, it could be the show guide, and it could be the program guide, and it could be whatever makes sense for your community. And also you can then make payments. And guess what? What happens if, I want to go into something else. What happens if your conference it's a concert and there's like 10,000 people and there's just no cell reception, or it's underground for part of it, so you lose connection? Can we go into offline sending? So eCash is a bearer instrument, and this is one of its things. It works the way you normally naturally expected cryptocurrency to work, but it doesn't. After a while, you realize that cryptocurrency doesn't work like that. It's a one shared ledger. But when I have eCash in my phone, I literally have a different file, effectively, simplified version, a different file for each coin of cash I have. So if I have no internet, it can recognize that. And we can do this right now. I have no internet, no Wi-Fi, no SMS. I can just, instead, it will recognize that, and it will create. It will only work if you're both in the same federation. Mm-hmm. But if you were in the same federation already, and I saw this when I was in El Salvador, I had Bitcoin, but I had no signal on my SIM card, and there was someone I wanted to buy some pupusas from. I had the money, and they were right in front of me, and I couldn't pay them because we had no internet. With eCash, I could still go in offline mode and literally have an animated QR code of the different eCash notes, and as long as they have their camera, I can beam through the sky, through the air, effectively, without Bluetooth or anything, the payment.
That's very cool.
How does it work if there's no
Okay.
connection? Like, how does it work?
So what's happening is that you're not actually sending information over the internet. You're sending it through the QR code. So the QR code, think about it, the tokens in the scenario of the fairground.
Yeah.
Each one of those is a bearer instrument, i.e. each one of those is cash in the way you consider cash. So when you receive eCash onto your phone, on your phone is a separate file for every note. So
How does that get from your phone to my phone?
So if you saw in the video again, that is a QR code is a visual representation of information.
Yeah.
So
Are we looking at the offline receive now?
yeah, so on the offline send, I was creating a animated QR code. But
Yeah,
on
I
the
saw
offline
that.
receive, if you look at the bottom, it's showing 60%, 70%, 80%. So if you replay it again, so you can notice at the bottom, there's this sort of a count up of the percentage of the eCash that you've received. So at the bottom of the screen, you'll see again. And once you start scanning it, at the bottom, it's going 20, 30, 80, 70, 80, 100%.
But does
And what
my
will happen is, as this animation is playing, each frame of the animation is the unique code of a different piece of eCash. Now, even though I have no internet, because we both know the federation we're part of. The federation, the way the eCash protocol works is every eCash note issued is stamped by the Federation of Guardians with their they use their private key to sign it effectively. They sign each one so that you know that it's, even though I have no internet, I know, because I know what the details of the Federation is, I know that if I receive this note, this is a valid note because only the Guardians could have signed it. And therefore, even without internet, I can receive it and go, okay, this is valid. I'll accept it.
but because there's no connection, when a connection comes back, is there a syncing process?
Yes. So
Yeah.
there is a syncing process when the connection comes back, but this is where the community aspect works as well. So there's two things. The bearer instrument allows you to send it through as QR code.
Yeah.
But then the fact that you have this sort of community trust model means that, for example, you would say, what would happen if someone tries to double spend, send it to two different places? First of all, they'll have to take the code, recompile it, and change it and modify it. So you're in this village and you're starting to recompile this application to do something completely different, which is unlikely. But let's say you did do that. You would then have the challenge that upon syncing, it will be clear that you double spent two different people. And again, you have the risk then of being ostracized by the community. And therefore, from then on, you'll never be able to transact with anyone in the community again for that
Okay, that makes sense.
$2 transaction. Which again, if you're doing it to someone on the other side of the world, then that's a real risk. But when you're doing it with people you're transacting with daily, that risk becomes much smaller because the punishment is much higher than the crime. So this is the power of working within communities of trust. You can, that combined with the properties of eCash, allow you to send value in this mechanism, in this way.
Okay, so my conference ends. Does everyone have to withdraw to close down that temporary federation?
So,
And if you don't withdraw and the federation gets closed down, do you lose your Bitcoin?
well, you don't lose it. The federation retains it in that scenario.
Yeah.
But so the Bitcoin is not lost, but you would lose access to it. Yes. So if you were doing something like a conference, you would say you would keep it open for 1 or 2 weeks afterwards.
Yeah.
And you would use that opportunity to say, hey, after the end of this, and you would say at the point of depositing, it's as similar as if you go to some music concerts, you get tokens and you say, if you don't use them, then they go back to the organizer. And it's the same. You'd buy a $50 ticket, say, and you get $20 worth of eCash to get going immediately as part of that ticket. And you can obviously deposit more, but you make it very clear that by depositing, if you don't withdraw it by this point, 2 weeks afterwards, it goes.
Yeah.
But obviously, you can use that period of the 2 weeks afterwards to make them aware of other ways, and they can set up a Lightning wallet themselves to self custody, or they could come talk to Fedi, and we can help their community set up their own. If they liked what they saw here, it's the power of this approach. Why don't you set up your own community, and we'll help you set it up there. But it's whether it's us or whether it's Moon or what it's Satoshi or so on, you've just given people mass visibility on the power of Bitcoin and Lightning and so on. So you're going to have some percentage of those people, even if they came for a football conference or so on, they just realize this experience is just way better. And that's what we're going for. We're going for this, just where people are having their most enjoyable experience in their life, festivals and so on.
Yeah.
That's where you orange pill them, because this becomes a much better alternative. One tool where I can have conversation, I can organize, I can talk to other people, I can share connections, people I meet while I'm passing by. I can pay for food and hot dogs and water and drinks and memorabilia. I can also have show guides and so on because of the fact it's extensible. And then for the next 2 weeks afterwards, I can be told or suggested ways in which you can continue that experience. Now that you've understood firsthand the power of Bitcoin and Lightning.
I'm thinking like we've got our event next Friday. Next year, we're going to turn it into a 1, maybe 2 day conference. And I'm already thinking, okay, we would have our federation for the conference. In there would be the running order of events. There will be incremental things you want to buy. You want to buy a ticket to the dinner on the Friday? Cool, you can do it within the app. When you go around to the different, when you go to the merch stand, you can buy stuff. You meet someone, you want to buy something from them, you can tap chat, you can organize little side events.
Unfortunately, you won't be the first one to do it by then.
No, but that's fine. It'll be proof tested.
Yeah, it'll definitely be proof tested.
It's super cool. Can I put my own fees into the transfers within it, or?
Technically, there's nothing stopping that with the Fedimint protocol, but with the Fedi app, no. It's structurally we don't do it as for our system.
And that's because you would have issues with regulatory bodies.
I think it makes the experience much simpler for users, and also at least at this stage, it focuses on who would adopt it. If there's no profit motive, you tend to get people who are doing it for non-profit motive focused reasons.
Casinos. So when you go to the casino, you have to go to the stand, you have to convert it, and then when you've cashed out, they give you the ticket and you go back and convert it. You could just stay entirely within the app.
I think there's
multiple
use cases. Yeah. So that's another very powerful use case.
Okay. How do you guys make money?
So there are multiple ways in which we can make money. For Fedi, for the core way we plan to make money is the Fedi app. That when people download the app, they don't have to, just like they don't have to use any given Lightning app. But our app is a pay-as-you-use model. So we will charge, whenever you do any form of transaction, we'll charge an additional small amount on top, a few basis points.
Nice.
And obviously we use that to improve the product and service. But the other thing we do, which is core part of this OS, this operating system, is the human part of this. So we recently just closed a Series A round.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much for that. And a big part of that is to bring Bitcoin, Lightning adoption global. And obviously, we think Fedi is a powerful engine for mass Bitcoin adoption at an accelerated rate. But what we realize is you need humans on the ground who understand the local context to make that happen. So we'll be, over the coming years, hiring hundreds of Fedi Knights, as we call them, to locate, educate, and inculcate communities and organizations around the world. But we're looking at we're effectively the outsourced business development arm for the entire Bitcoin ecosystem. So, because as you said, with the thing with Fedimint, it's very powerful, but it's an island without other things. It needs to run on servers, so it will need Umbrels, Start Nines, Voltages, and so on. It needs to connect to the Lightning Network. So it needs to partner with people like Voltage and Ibex, Mikado, and Bolsa Server, and all the other companies who provide Lightning LSP services. And then for every given community, they have specific requirements. So integrations with Bitrefill, with Stackwork, if you want to earn money and so on. But all of these things are in the Bitcoin and Lightning ecosystem right now. And as a whole already are incredibly powerful. But you want one place to bring it all together and then one engine to bring that out to the world. And that's what we do. We bring it all together here and then we bring it out the world with this workforce of people who make me look, the ideas, they're going to make me look like I'm comatose. They're going to just want to promote and make people aware of what's possible with Bitcoin, Lightning, Fedimint, and the Bitcoin ecosystem. So inherent in our model is that we win by ensuring the entire ecosystem wins.